Yippee-Ki-Yay, mother.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to Yippee-Ki-Yay, mother podcast, Round Robin edition. Tonight we're going to do conspiracy films. But before we get started, I'm Ralph Quattrucci.
I'm Sean Paul Murphy.
I'm Deborah Murphy.
I'm John Quattrucci.
Well, Chris could not make it tonight, so we're down one mother podcaster, which gives us a little more time.
Yeah.
We're going to do the round robin on conspiracy films, but before we get started, let's do a little what'd you watch. So let's start with Sean and Debbie. What'd you watch?
Go ahead, John.
Okay, well, we didn't, because we were watching two movies, we didn't have a whole lot of time, but I snuck a few movies in while Debbie wasn't watching.
No.
So I watched Kentucky Fried Movie because we heard yes with Dave.
I love that movie.
And I want Debbie to watch it, if only for the Catholic high school girls in trouble.
Good Catholic girls get in trouble.
Yeah. And of course, A Fistful of Yen.
Oh, great.
Fabulous ending of it. It is just like, it's a great spoof of.
That's John Landis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was the Zucker.
Yeah. Show me your nuts.
Never before has the act of human love been so deep.
Samuel L. Bronkowitz presents.
That's Armageddon. You were terrified by earthquake. You were this by the Poseidon Adventure. You'll be scared shitless by that Armageddon.
I saw that at the drive-in, actually.
You did?
Yeah.
I will admit I did not see that one. You know what? It is still pretty edgy. It's very
little edgy. I mean, it's really edgy.
It's really misogynistic.
Yeah. A lot of collaborators on that.
But it's very funny. Yeah. I mean, it's very funny.
Yeah,
was that the one Bill Bixby was in?
Yeah.
He did the head Cedron or something? Yeah.
Adrian Askren.
He probably got the most money of all the actors.
Yeah, Cleopatra Schwartz.
And Big Jim Slade.
Yeah.
That
was funny. And I also watched, which I also would like to watch with Debbie, and I love it. It was a good suggestion, Ralph, was the Twitter Swindler.
Oh, Tindler Swindler.
Tindler. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
When the Tindler Swindler.
Tindler Swindler, yeah.
I didn't understand how this guy, because the women were not like they were rich. I couldn't believe how much money he got out of those.
Yeah. Well, he preyed on, if you noticed, he preyed on older women out of their 20s. Good credit, good jobs, mostly Swedish or mostly that side of the world. Those women work hard. They save a lot of, they have a lot of money. And he goes after kind of the older, 35s.
Yeah.
But what he's doing is he's using their money and hanging out with Russian models that are 19, 20 years old. I mean, the guy worked hard. I'm going to give him credit. He's a total creep, but man, he worked hard.
I don't think I could juggle that many plates.
No, that would be impossible. But I like that he was cutting and pasting his messages he would send to all the ladies, right? I mean, it's just
so they're all getting the same messages.
Same message.
Yeah, because he goes to a normal thing. He'd romance them, fly him on a private jet, take him to some exclusive restaurant in a third country.
He has his baby mama there, so they feel safe. He's got a woman with his kid taking care of the kid as he's flying these people around, so they're feeling all safe. He gives them $15,000 to go find an apartment in some nice, Paris or Rome or London. So they think they've hit the prince. It's the prince.
Yeah.
Turns out now he's doing those. What are those where you pay someone to send a message to your somebody? It's not Canvas. It's
Cameo.
Cameo. He's doing Cameo calls now.
He's not in jail?
He was in jail for a couple of months. I mean, it's kind of sad, actually.
But it's really sad how it worked
I
out.
got some exciting news about a jail. I heard one of my Lyft clients was talking to somebody at jail, and those calls, and I was scared.
And they kept talking about H
and MFer and all that.
Man, we got
to this was while you were driving this person?
Yes, I was driving.
Oh, wow.
This person. I picked him up from
Safe. We can talk around her. It's okay. We can talk around her. She's like a priest.
She's cool. Let's talk about the H, man. Let's talk about the H.
I mean, I was like, what? I knew what he was scheduling something or other, and I'm thinking, I hope he's not scheduling to take my ride.
Oh my God.
I
can't believe
H in prison. H in prison is hemorrhoids, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
But I was scared. I had made my getaway plan. I'm thinking I'm going to leave my keys, my purse, everything, even my jeans.
I don't know how you do that.
You carry mace or anything?
No.
You carry nothing?
I don't carry mace.
Why?
Because it got out on my hands and got into my eyes.
Oh, and it burned your eyes.
And plus, you're not allowed the rules, so you can't
use a weapon.
You can't bring a weapon.
You can't even have mace?
Okay. We shouldn't be talking about this, okay?
Oh, why?
Because you want them to know maybe you're packing heat, right? You want them to be a little bit.
I'm not talking about packing heat, but
I would. No way they're going to know me.
Debbie had a gun, though, a really big gun.
No, I don't. I don't believe in.
Good for you. All right. So because you hit yourself with mace, you didn't watch anything. John, what'd you watch? Or what do you want to talk about?
Oh, so Debbie, did you not watch anything? We don't want to blow you off there.
I'm so crazy. I wake up so early to get my lift going.
So that's a long answer saying no, you didn't watch anything, right?
What did I watch?
What did I watch?
Prices go up.
Okay. I know we only have 3 people, but let's not get carried away, okay? Well, we got a lot of films to talk about.
I'll tell you what I watched. I've got 1 episode left of Inventing Anna.
Oh,
which is Julie Garner. I don't know her because I don't watch Ozark or the other show she was on. She's excellent as the lead character, Anna Delphi or Anna Sorokin, whatever her real name is. It's a really interesting series, and it's kind of like Tinder Swindler, that she was able to extract money from people. I don't know how she did it.
It's amazing. It's
like millions.
How people.
And she got the elite in New York on board her project. She said she was a German heiress. She wasn't. She had no money, but she was tipping $100 bills to everybody. Then she started check kiting once she kind of got caught. She stiffed her friend of $60,000, didn't pay her back. I mean, it's really, now my only problem with this, there's 2 problems I have with it. Like a lot of Netflix shows, there's too many episodes. They could have taken 3 episodes, got rid of them, and it would have been a much tighter script. The other thing, and Ralph's not going to like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I know there's a love-hate relationship with Donald Trump, but in this series, like Shonda Rhimes is the one who wrote it, and she's a big lib. I know that. But like they threw out these Donald Trump insult lines, just like there's like 5 different times they take some shot at him, like completely out of left field. Like it's got nothing to do with the plot or the context. And I'm like, now why do you do that? Just because the writer hates him? And for me, it kind of like for the next 10 minutes, I'm going, well, I don't get why that was there. So it kind of takes me out of the story.
I know
a lot of shows do that now.
I know it's tough when they make
it doesn't make any sense.
It's tough when they make fun of Big Daddy, John. I get it.
No, it's not even that. It's like it's both sides.
Trump's been around forever. Trump's in rap songs. Trump,
I get that.
He's been around.
But there's no reason to have it in this movie.
No.
Let the movie stand on its own, other than the fact that they want to take a shot. And I think that's stupid. What?
It's distracting.
It is distracting. It is.
No,
Because I'm like, why do that? Like we saw Batman and which
Batman or the Batman?
The Batman. We're going to talk about it on Cue It Up. But they did the same thing, just a line out of left field.
I know, and I know the exact line you're responding to.
But it's just so it's like it wasn't needed, it wasn't necessary.
I knew that would be the one you'd pick out.
But no, there's more than that. But that's the one.
It dates the movie. Like a lot. I tell you what, because we have it on DVD, season 1 of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And most of this stuff, just the political stuff just doesn't play. You're just sitting there like,
what?
Well, not really. No, come on. You don't look back at Dan Aykroyd playing Nixon and all the stuff when they're doing Carter and Chevy Chase is flopping around like Ford.
Anderson and I can't even name the people because they're making fun of so many people that
for half the country, we just came out of 4 years of just horrendous. John says love hate. It's hate. So if she's throwing a couple digs at Donald Trump, I'm like, go for it. It's not that hard to do, to be honest.
But it doesn't help.
And I can't wait to talk about the Batman because I know that's what you want.
Wait a minute. So why isn't Saturday Night Live made fun of Biden then? Because it doesn't get easier than that.
They do. They made fun of Biden.
No, they don't. They do not make fun of Biden the way they made fun of Trump.
But here's the thing, John.
Not even close.
Sean will tell you this about screenwriting. A story in a movie, it's got to work towards the story. If it doesn't, It takes you out of the movie, and you can't have that.
And
well,
that's
when did this woman? When was she doing this stuff in New York City?
Well, it started in, like, I think 2014. I think she got caught.
So
in
Trump was everywhere. I mean, it's
Ralph,
okay.
Have you seen
Listen,
it?
Snowflake, stop
Have
crying.
you seen the show, Ralph?
No. Stop whining about it.
If it was in context, I would have no problem with it. But it's just like a hammer on the head.
Anyway,
I don't like that when I watch my shows. I just want a good
I don't want any politics in my shows.
See,
can I complain about one thing?
Yeah.
What?
And Ralph, I'm just bringing this up to you. I should bring it to you off the air. They're cutting editors from the Oscar telecast, the editing award.
Yeah, they're cutting a bunch of awards.
Aren't they cutting a lot of those? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing to speed it up.
Most of the technical
Short
ones.
film, short documentary, animated short.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Sean,
tough.
nobody watches it anyway.
Yeah,
so
who
it doesn't
cares?
matter.
I mean, that's the thing. Who cares?
No, but they think that is.
Sean, who won the editing award last year?
I got it right on this poll. I can't remember though.
Okay.
Jimmy Piesowicz. He's a good guy.
Yeah, but
He's
here's
good.
the-
He's excellent.
Did anything else, John, before I get to my political
No,
movie?
that's it. You just dismissed it.
Because
I
you're gonna love.
appreciate that.
You're gonna love my thing. I watched
Larry Dickman.
Larry Dickman.
Larry Dickman.
Two things. I've been watching The Dropout about Holmes.
Oh, Theranos.
Theranos. It's great.
Yeah.
But the one I just watched is Adam McKay. Talk about lib. Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. You guys watch that?
How is that?
HBO?
I haven't watched it yet.
It got a pretty bad review.
That's John C. Reilly, right?
Oh my God, he's playing the owner, but also Jack Ken Cook. I didn't realize. I forgot that Jack Ken Cook, the old owner of the Redskins, was the owner of the LA Lakers when this Jerry Buss came in and bought the Lakers. And I bring it up now because you mentioned the Zuckers. They do a scene with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and they redo that scene in the cockpit where he grabs the kid, and they pan over. And it's the three Zuckers sitting there like they're directing the film at the time, but they're their
real
age
guys?
now. Yeah, they're the real guys now. And they're playing with different film stocks, and they're shooting some of it in Betacam and some of it in 16 and Super 8.
Oh, you would love that.
And it's all about the rise of Magic Johnson and the thing with Larry Bird. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. And they're doing a lot of cool
they're
stuff.
dropping once a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might want to wait, but
I'll
it looks
wait.
like it's going to be fun. If you're a basketball fan.
It looked good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to the rest of those. It was fun. But you reminded me with the Zuckers. I forgot that they were in that until you brought it up. So, all right. So let's do our round robin. This is a fun one. It's amazing when you go down the hole of trying to figure this out. You find so many that you completely and conspiracies, like I was saying earlier, like most movies, if there involves a crime or something. Like even medical films, you think about the movie Coma. Yeah, I mean, that's a conspiracy film.
Yeah,
and most crime dramas, because there's always some unseen thing that's wanting this to happen. That's a conspiracy. So,
well, when you look up the list, like I'm sure we all did that. Give me the 10 best films. Yeah. All of a sudden, films you would never think of conspiracy wise, then you go, oh yeah, of course, that's a conspiracy.
Yeah, well, that's why I put all these pictures back here because I started, Angels and Demons and the Da Vinci Code. It's all this. So okay,
JFK.
So, it's JFK. So let's start. Debbie, why don't you start? And the way this works, everybody knows, is we each bring a film that we want to talk about, but we end up talking about other ones as well. So Debbie, you go first. What's the film that you brought?
I chose Valkyrie for my movie. And somebody mentioned, I can't remember who it was. It said, oh, it's a good Nazi.
I said that. I said, oh, finally a film with good Nazis.
Is that Drew?
No,
that
Ralph said that too.
Ralph, you said that. That's very funny.
I said it before Drew, I think. Okay, let's just be clear.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So explain. Give us a little synopsis on the film, and then
Cruise plays the role of this German soldier.
Pronounce his last name. Never gonna happen.
Stauffenberg.
Von Stauffenberg.
Von Stauffenberg. Right.
Stauffenberg.
And by the way, it's a true story.
Yes.
This is a true story. Valkyrie's a true story.
You can tell it's true when they put dates and times.
Yeah.
And this guy, Tom Cruise, he plays a guy who's been in the war, and he's got an arm missing, hand missing, and also he's got an eye missing. He carries an eyeball around with him. He normally has a patch.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on except a German accent. Yeah.
Yeah, no German accent. And I guess Cruise wanted to do this film because he thought he looked like the guy.
Action is inevitable.
the actual guy. So
Well, I thought Stauffenberg thought he looked like Cruz.
yeah, maybe. I'm sure he wasn't as tall as the actual.
Wait,
guy.
we're interrupting Debbie's synopsis.
Well,
Sorry.
he tries to kill Hitler. His aim is to.
Spoiler alert: he did not
Plot
kill
to
Hitler.
kill Hitler.
Right.
But don't we all? I mean,
Yeah.
you look back and you think, wow, couldn't have somebody just taken a bullet? And,
Well, what this film does show is, yeah, there were a lot of attempts, and a lot of people did not agree with what he was doing, and were trying to, take him out.
Germany, yeah, save
Yeah.
the-
But after that plot failed, he went scorched earth, and that was it.
Well,
They dragged everyone out and killed him.
Well, he killed everybody involved in this
Yeah.
plot. I mean, it was,
Right.
it was-
That was the
amazing.
that was the bunker bomb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Except they weren't in the bunker. That's why it didn't work.
right,
They moved to a wooden building.
right. And the table saved
and
his
the
life.
bomb was against the leg of his heavy
Yeah.
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 And he escaped his doom, but
Well, and Kenneth Branagh played one of the generals too, who ended up at the Russian front, who tried to, he spiked a bottle of wine or something, or put a bomb in a case of wine, and that failed. I mean, it was about all the fail, and they all failed ultimately, which is the amazing thing. And
each time they tried to do, away with them, I just remember feeling so anxious, like, oh, they put the drama to, the scale of 10, because just, getting caught, and they have to play it cool, and they're sweating bullets,
Yeah.
because,
And they were worried about their families too.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
They got caught. Who directed that? That was
That child molester.
yeah, Bryan Singer.
oh jeez.
That was-
Sorry.
Yeah,
That
no.
accused.
Right. But written by the guy who started doing some of the Mission
Macquarie.
Impossible. Yeah.
Macquarie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a rich history in this film, and yeah, you're rooting for Nazis, which is always a little strange.
Well,
but,
it humanized people who were in Germany. Not everyone was on board with that.
because all you hear about, like so you get on the rabbit hole from
Yeah.
last week, and all I'm doing is watching docs about Mengele and
Yeah.
Eichmann and all the evil bastards that were part of it. And there were a lot of them, don't get me wrong. And then this is kind of a forgotten story, people, actual human beings who didn't like what was going on,
Right.
and really were trying to get them out of there, and they're not talked about enough. Now, I think there's statues to that guy in Germany, maybe.
He's on a memorial. I know that much. Yeah.
Yeah. So the conspiracy is we're rooting for the conspirators,
Right.
in that one.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I like at one point, the guy who's like the colonel of the reserve army that's arresting all the SS. And, he's like, he doesn't know exactly what's going on. And near the end, when they start to he realizes what's going on, his adjutant goes, "So is there a coup?" And he's like, "Yes, and we're the coup."
Right.
And then he decides to stay loyal to Hitler. But, had a few people, even though Hitler lived, had a few key people just stayed on the course, they could have overthrown, they would have overthrown him, but especially if they would have gotten
each
him.
time the guys tried to muster their courage, you see them at the brink. I think that's the humanity, the part of that movie that really portrays that part in all of us when we're thinking about something, to do something, and then we're just so tense, left or right. What are we going to do? What are we going to say? Are we going to say something? Or are we just going to sit idly by? And it does take some courage to muster it up, and we've all been there.
Well, then the reality is they make a mistake, they get shot in the head or hung. And there's
Not just them.
I know they go after the family.
I mean, that's
too,
where the tension comes from, right? They were worried about, they were worried about their families. But in the production values, I mean, it was a big budget movie. The production values were beautiful.
And it did not do good. And I think one of the reasons why, because there was no backlash against Singer yet. But I think the main problem was when this movie came out, it was the height of Tom Cruise's crazy.
When he was jumping on couches and stuff.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, he really laid into the Scientology publicly. But prior to that, he had a very good press agent who kept him trying to keep the Scientology on the down low. And at this time, and I think a lot of people, also I felt War of the Worlds got a bad rap too because of anti-Cruise publicity.
Right.
That movie, but that did big box office. That did big box. I like that movie.
I felt they could have done twice as much. But this movie, I think, because it's a really terrific movie.
Yeah.
And it should have done much better. And
it's also, it's also a World War II film. And think about, I mean, other than Quentin Tarantino's World War, Glorious Bastards, what's another World War II film that you can talk about?
Dunkirk.
Recently. What? Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Dunkirk was a hit.
Oh, and the 1918, that's World War I.
1918 was World
right?
War I.
So I mean,
Dunkirk.
What am I talking about?
Dunkirk.
Saving Private Ryan. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, but that was 20 years ago, Saving Private Ryan.
Well, when was this one? 97? When was this? Or later than that?
No, this was 2000. This is in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw it with Debbie, so I know it's this century.
Okay.
I met Debbie in 2000.
Oh.
That was the best year of my life.
Oh, wow. Are you in trouble or something?
Boy.
No, we're doing okay today.
Okay, good.
You
So yeah, you're rooting for not only you're rooting for conspirators, but you're rooting for Nazis. So that's sort of a nice twist on this one.
Yeah.
On the
It was
genre.
I really like this movie a lot. To me, the only fail
2008.
Thank you.
is that I think it came out after the Untertag with Bruno Ganz as the downfall.
Oh, Downfall. Oh, I forgot it. Yeah,
Bruno
that's
Ganz was Hitler.
yeah.
And his Hitler was so good.
Yeah.
That to me, the Hitler in this movie was just underwhelming compared to that.
Well, he was minimized.
Well, it wasn't a Hitler movie. It was a Tom Cruise movie.
But I also think Bruno Ganz gave Hitler some weight. I don't mean physical weight, but just weight in general that probably wasn't the real. Hitler was kind of a, other than his power, don't get me wrong, and what he did, he was not the biggest guy in the world. I mean, he didn't have a lot of.
Yeah.
Well, what I heard from people that speak the language, he was very charismatic.
Yeah.
His speeches.
Yeah. If you watch the documentaries on his rise, to power, it's a pretty compelling story. I mean, it really is.
And the people
ended up being a nut job, but to get where he got, I mean, if you look at the people that surrounded him and bought into everything that he was very methodical about it too. He didn't start off as a nut job. That wasn't his approach. He went economics first. Well, no, first he went one route that failed, and then he went economics, and then everything changed. Yeah. Well, he was an artist as a young guy, but yeah, he was very charismatic,
and he loved animals.
Right? Yeah.
So you got that.
Yeah,
he loved
which
dogs.
is nice.
But
dogs,
no, it's just not, you got that. But it also the country was ravaged, and they came out of World War I. They didn't like to.
Yeah.
Now that I'm watching all this stuff, you realize they were ripe for what he did.
Right.
So to see a film where there's good Nazis going on a conspiracy against him is it's always good.
Yes.
So,
it gives you faith in humanity, right?
A little bit.
Because a lot of people look the other way.
Yeah. So all right, good one, Debbie.
Yeah.
Good one, Sean. What do you got?
Oh, I have the granddaddy of 70s conspiracy films. The
granddaddy. Okay.
The Parallax View.
Yeah.
Most, the 70s is the period. There's so much disillusionment with the government. As a result.
Nobody trusted anyone.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Watergate. The news that our leaders, the CIA, was assassinating.
Well, you came out 68. You had two assassinations. RFK and then MLK.
Yeah.
68.
And then all of this, Vietnam, and such disillusionment. And the Parallax View is a Warren Beatty vehicle directed by Alan Pakula,
right?
Who has also directed Clute, which came before this,
and All the President's Men,
which was a conspiracy film.
Right, that's
next
right.
one.
Right.
And the difference is All the President's Men was a true to life film. And,
but that's a true conspiracy, though. I mean, it was an actual conspiracy. So
it was an actual real conspiracy.
Right.
Now, in this film, Warren Beatty plays a journalist, and he's trying to get in there. It's at the Space Needle in Seattle. There's a senator who is running for president, goes up and has a meeting, and he's shot to death there. And the guy tries to run away. It's been so long since I saw the film. I forgot that they're actually running around on the roof of the Space Needle. I'd never seen that in the movie before other than this. And then he falls off to his death. And a Senate committee says, it was a lone gunman. There was no evidence of a conspiracy. And some people are suspicious, but they let it go. But 3 years later, Warren Beatty is approached by a female journalist who says, look, I'm afraid for my life, and she showed him some pictures and said, look at these people, 14 of these people or whatever have died in unnatural ways. and I'm afraid I'm next. And after she turns up dead a couple days later, he begins an investigation and discovers this corporation called the Parallax Corporation, which is sort of like a security company or, a shadowy company. And what he believes is that they're finding violent antisocial people to be assassins and violent antisocial people to be patsies. So he enrolls in this, and I think I can spoil it. It's been like 1973.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And he thinks he's going to stop the assassination, but what he doesn't realize is he's being set up.
He's the patsy. Yeah,
he's the patsy. So, and there's a great cast. William Daniels, who was from St. Elsewhere, in the voice of the car from
Knight Rider.
Yeah. And Paula
John Adams in 1776.
Yeah, and that was a great performance.
Yeah,
and Hugh Cronin is great in the supporting role. That mostly takes place in his office. He's Warren Beatty's editor. Other than one scene, it's all in his office. I'm thinking, this must have an independent movie, because that's what you do when you write an independent film. You get a big star and you set all the scenes throughout the entire film in the same location, so you can shoot them all in one day. I know they had money, but this is a great film. And Ralph, have you seen Parallax View lately?
Not recently, but I watched it.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
There's a sequence in the middle of the film. First, Warren Beatty had to fill out this psychological test that he took to expert friends at a university. It's like they seem to be looking for antisocial or violent people. When he gets there, it's sort of like Clockwork Orange in the sense that he had to put his hand on sensors and watch this edited piece. First, it's like love, country, mother, father. It's like these nice images, and it slowly builds in these violent images, and they're like getting his physical reaction to them. And it's I think you would love this little edited piece they do, because they show it full screen.
Right.
In a lesser movie, it would kill a lesser movie because it takes you out of what the character's doing by showing what he's doing. And normally you would just show a little bit of it, but they showed this whole sequence, and it's really cool, and it's really kind of disturbing. A lot of people think it's one of the best scenes in the movie, and it is really cool. But this is, the soundtrack is really good. The soundtrack is very reminiscent of the soundtrack of Marathon Man, which I really love, but it's a different composer. But it's very reminiscent. I know Marathon Man's reminiscent, that came later. But if you look at a lot of these great conspiracy movies of the 70s, Parallax View was there first. And in some ways, it was their best.
And I was trying to get the information, from the title, Parallax. Is that para means to go along with, laxative? Is it go along with the laxative? I don't know, trying to decipher the meaning of the film, Parallax. I mean, that's a cool name, Parallax, right? Sounds important.
No, it's awesome.
Is there a lens?
I was like, what? What does that
Aren't
mean?
there parallax lenses?
I don't know if exactly spelled the same way, but interesting. Oh my God.
I would really recommend this film to people.
Yeah, I know. Again, same year as 3 Days of the Condor. Condor might have come out in 72.
No, I think Condor came out afterwards.
Yeah. All I know is this had the beautiful, non-happy 70s ending, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is resolved. You're left with what just happened. Warren Beatty's the patsy. I think he even gets shot at the end. I forget how it ends. I think he does. Unlike, 3 Days of Condor, a great conspiracy film, but of course, yes, it's a downer ending kind of, but still Robert Redford lives, and he has a great speech in front of the New York Times, which is awesome.
That was 75, by the way.
Condor 75.
Yeah.
That's on one of our early podcast. If you want to listen to that or watch.
3 Days of the Condor is?
Yeah. That's one of my absolute favorite films.
Really?
3 Days of the Condor.
Also too, this film is Condor was shot by Alan Roisman, who's a fabulous gritty 70s cinematographer. This was shot by Gordon Willis.
Oh, the Prince of Darkness.
It's really
it's one of those. What's great about movies like that is it's creepy. And there's a scene with a light bulb or something. I remember a scene with a light bulb. Like any room he walks into, you're always thinking something is going on in that room, or something's going to happen. It's just the dread throughout the film is palatable, and it just makes it so fulfilling, except nothing good. It's all like the conspirators win, right? They've done what it's like any of those movies where, what's the other movie where he ends up being the patsy? There's movies like that all the time where, oh my God, he's the patsy. And this was the OG of that, I think.
Well, even Condor, it's sort of like, he's like telling them, I brought it here. It's too late. And he goes, well, are they going to print it?
Well, that's the speech.
Yeah.
How do you know they're going to print it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's oil. That's about oil in that one, right? 70s oil. That's about oil. But it's all about Winter Kills is another one that it's going to come up on the screen, but that's Jeff Bridges playing the younger brother of an assassinated president, I think. And he gets involved in that kind of conspiracy as well. And it's always it's always old guys pulling the strings, right? There's always some weird corporation with old dudes just pulling the strings on everybody. And it's fun. I'll remember it as we talk. There's a movie this where somebody ends up being the patsy. I have to remember it. I don't know. A recent film.
There's another one I almost picked. And it's like what one of you said. You looked at these list of films and I didn't remember that was a conspiracy film. But it was Blowout with
John Travolta.
John Travolta.
Yes.
I was hoping Debbie would pick that one.
That's so good. I mean, there's, like I said, when we do these, there are so many that we could just talk about. And it's what makes it so fascinating, because you start remembering all these other ones you haven't thought about in years. And especially when you go down those lists. So there's Blowout right there behind us. So it's amazing to watch this stuff. And that's a good one. That's a classic 70s downer. The government's all out there and you don't know where they are. It's just beautiful.
He directed that one.
What's that?
I think Brian De Palma directed
Blowout. Sidney Pollack directed 3 Days of the Condor.
Yeah, and Alan Pakula. It was all. They had a lot of really good directors working in the genre. It's like it was a good genre. You can't imagine them making movies like. The funny thing about Parallax View is it wasn't like it was made for a niche market. It was put out there as a major release by Paramount. As general audience, mainstream audience fare.
Well, remember,
this wasn't like an art house movie.
No.
It was theatrical release.
But people, it was 73, right? And Watergate we're smack in the middle of all the fallout from Watergate and Vietnam and all that. People were believing all this stuff. They believed that this stuff was going on. So this movie comes out and it's completely realistic and very downer. It's just terrific. Great film. Good job.
Well,
good pick. Good pull. John.
So I went to my list and I struggled with this a little bit. I originally wanted to go with JFK, which I really enjoyed that movie. It was a little long, but I knew I had a pretty good knowledge of the Kennedy assassination, but that movie just blew it all up. And I was like, wow, all this stuff. So I was going to pick that. Plus I thought Kevin Costner was really good. I went a little bit different. And the reason is because of things that we're going through today. So I picked 1988 John Carpenter's film, They Live.
Oh.
Roddy Piper stars in it, and he plays a guy named Nada. You never find out his first name, just Nada, which means nothing. And he's just an everyman. He's homeless. And through the course of the first half hour, he finds these sunglasses that when you put the glasses on, everything goes black and white. And all the billboards, every thing in a grocery store has a white label on it with one word. It might be obey. It might be sleep. It's really interesting.
Yeah, you're looking at billboards that are advertising a new car or a sexy beach or something. And when he puts the glasses on, it's like submit, have babies, reproduce, that kind of stuff.
It's really interesting.
Subliminal advertising.
That's right. It was written by Carpenter, even though in the credits it shows Frank Armitage, which is from a book. He actually wrote it because he also did the music. He directed it, and he didn't want it to be, John Carpenter does this, that. So he went with Frank Armitage, and he was a anti-Reagan guy. And that's why he wanted to do this movie. It was against Reaganomics, and it was the haves versus the have-nots. which obviously is truer today than it even was back then. But for me, the submit to the government, if COVID showed us anything, that's what it reminded me of. Because I started thinking about every TV show, every late night host, every commercial. Get your shots, get boosted, wear a mask. You go to every door, there's a sign on it, and everyone has to submit. Now, what happens when you walk into a store and you weren't wearing a mask and other people were wearing a mask? They all look at you like there's something wrong with you, right? And you're doing something wrong. Now, I'm not, but in no way am I talking about what's right and what's wrong? I'm not talking about that.
You're so
I'm
full
not.
of crap.
I'm not.
But you can bring up that politics is fine.
What I'm talking
Here's
about
the problem with They Live. There wasn't enough Donald Trump jokes in They Live. Okay,
that's got nothing to do with it, but that's okay. My point is,
make your point because
the whole point was to submit to the government. That was the point of the movie.
Yes.
And for me, we're going through that. We've been going through that. And the other thing is, if you talk against the government, what happens to you? You get erased by social media. You get erased. You could lose your job. But I really like the movie. Now, talking about some performances, Roddy Piper, who had never done a movie, was a professional wrestler. And Carpenter actually wanted to use Kurt Russell, but he had already made 3 movies with Kurt Russell. So he said, I'm going to use this guy. And it's got one of the single greatest fight scenes in a movie that's ever been made. It's a 6-minute movie, a 6-minute fight scene that looks like a real fight where 2 people are really going toe to toe.
Yeah, who's the other actor? Who's the other lead?
David Keith. Keith David.
Keith David. You're right.
Keith David. So it was the reason he did that was he wanted to recreate a fight scene similar to The Quiet Man with John Wayne, which I did not know that. I found that out in the documentary that I saw. But the fight scene is brutal. It's a very low budget. I think it was between 3 and 4 million. It did really well the first 2 weeks, and then it kind of faded away. But in retrospect, it gets a lot more cred than it did back then. And so for those who have not seen it, when you put the glasses on, you see those signs, but you also see people in their true form. So it's aliens.
Yeah.
So a lot of the elite are aliens, and they're trying to push down the middle class and the homeless to build themselves up. That's the whole Reaganomics thing that Carpenter was going in.
John, I can ask you a question.
Yeah.
Going with our conspiracy theories. You think that's what's happening now?
Aliens?
You think it's
because the elites, Hillary Clinton's eating babies, Tom Hanks is eating babies, so there must be aliens. There have to.
I don't know why you'd say that, Ralph. No one's suggested that. I don't know why you would say something like that.
No one's ever suggested that Hillary's Clinton
eating babies.
John,
I've never heard that.
Do you watch the news at all? Do you sit in your little bunker and not watch anything?
What news are you watching that says Hillary eats babies?
Did you hear about the guy that came in with a rifle and shot up the pizza joint in D.C. because they're killing babies in the basement of that place right down the street from my house?
We're eating people, but
and Tom Hanks they're taking the blood out of babies. Come on,
John. Wait a minute, John. Let me just say, you're obviously not up on your QAnon.
Apparently, I'm not.
Jesus. Well, here's the thing. Wait. The funny thing about QAnon, and I know people who follow it to one degree or another, is that like They Live, a lot of people, like in QAnon, believe that the governments are being headed by alien lizard people.
They think JFK Jr. is coming back and he's going to be Trump's vice president of the United States. Elvis is going to sing at the inauguration. Okay.
I'd love to see that. I would. That's a conspiracy I can get in on.
That's what you get behind.
Elvis is alive.
That's like Valkyrie, the anti-Nazi. I'll get in with the Elvis one.
Go back to They Live. They Live is really go ahead.
Here's my opinion about L.Lit. Now, I saw it, obviously, it's a film from that period, so I saw it in the movie theater. I was disappointed with 2 things. One, I love Kurt Russell, and I think Kurt Russell really came on his own as an adult actor in the John Carpenter films. And when it was Roddy Piper, I mean, he's okay. Don't get me wrong, but the whole time I was watching the movie, I just kept thinking, this is what I was originally watching. It's like, wow, this would be so much better if Kurt Russell is in it.
It would have been a lot different, though.
Blame the movie. It's hard to blame the movie because it wasn't the movie I wanted it to be. I would be happy to have the same exact movie, but starring Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Except, would you buy Kurt? I mean, Roddy Piper wasn't a great actor. I'm not saying that. But
he didn't have to be in that movie.
No, I bought him as the guy going from town to town trying to get a job and being downtrodden. And like Kurt Russell, you expect to be a hero. He's a hero. As soon as he walks on, you go, okay, Kurt's going to take this. With him, you didn't know. And you didn't know who was going to win that fight that went on forever.
And my second thing was that fight went on forever.
It did. But that's the beauty. And they
were fighting dirty, too.
They choreographed that whole thing, those two guys.
It took 3 days to shoot that.
Right. So, and just the idea, I get the idea, the subliminal, submit to the government thing. But again, it's aliens. They're trying to take over the.
Aliens are taking over.
Sean, mute your microphone.
There you go.
What is that?
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay now. Did you hit something?
I hit something, yeah.
Okay.
It sounded like you hit a blowtorch.
Ralph, can you fix that in post?
No, I'm leaving it. That was awesome. No.
I'm scared because you both put your glasses on. I'm thinking, wow, what's going on?
No,
Ralph, you don't want to make it all black and white.
You don't want to see the rage in my eyes when he was talking about COVID. That's why I put these on. It's ridiculous. But
so
to compare They Live to the COVID.
No, I didn't compare it to COVID.
100% you compared
to the reaction to COVID.
Anybody getting a shot to looking up at a thing and going,
said.
have more babies, have more. Yes, you
That's
did.
Not
you totally
did.
Okay. Let's, when people comment, when they leave comments, I want to hear some comments.
That's fine. That's not what I said.
Okay. Here's another point. Not only the QAnon, but the Illuminati.
The Illuminati. Well, we've heard about them forever, right? The Illuminati. The Illuminati.
They're still running.
Well, isn't that what what's his name? Nick Cage runs around Philadelphia trying to figure out all that stuff.
Oh, that's the Masons, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
That's the Masons.
Okay.
Yeah.
National treasure.
John, I'm still shocked that you don't know about the eating babies in the blood.
Well, Ralph, I'm not a big follower of QAnon, so what can I tell you? You follow more than I do. I mean, I
just want to know. I got to know my enemy. I got to know who's out there.
Oh, so you consider me your enemy?
Absolutely, 100%. You haven't figured that out yet.
Brother is nodding QAnon.
So tell me more about the
enemies.
film, Ralph.
Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer.
Tell me more about the film, Ralph.
They Live.
Yeah, I told you why I picked it, but tell me what you think about the film.
Oh, I love the film. I think the film's fantastic. The line at the bank.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
And that was a Roddy Piper line that was not in the script.
He did that. And even the woman playing the lead lady,
Meg Foster with those
very
blue eyes.
Beautiful blue eyes, very stiff. It was kind of and I think obviously maybe because they're aliens, they're supposed to be a little bit stiff and not quite fluid and all that, and maybe that's what he was going for. But the acting was quite stiff. But there's a picture back there. I just found it. The message is great. Carpenter does such a good job with this stuff, and I don't know if I would have bought Kurt Russell. He seems
you definitely wouldn't have bought him in that fight.
No.
Well, I mean look at it. He's like, he could be Snake Plissken, It's like that kind of guy. He's like a drifter, a kind of tough guy. But
I like Snake until he surfboarded down the L.A. River, or whatever he did.
Oh, and
Escape from L.A.
Yeah, Escape from L.A.
It's like, come on.
And the hero, it's not a happy ending either. It's a happy ending, but it's not a happy ending.
When I was in college and I was taking advertising, they were making us read these books about subliminal advertising.
Yeah, have you ever read that? Subliminal Seduction?
Yeah.
Yeah, Subliminal Seduction. And
Ritz crackers have the word sex. If you bake them in the oven, the word sex pops up.
If you see like a drink and it has sex written in the ice.
Well, they say if you open up, it used to be in those days, you would open up an advertising with a glass of an alcohol, but the ice, it's all created. They're not shooting that ice, so they're putting all sex stuff in the ice. Also, when you take the page off and you put up against the light, like somebody might be smoking a cigarette on the other side while a woman's sitting at the beach and the cigarette's going in places it's not supposed to go. And it's just your brain going, wow, I don't know why I like this, but I love this. This is great.
So when I started working at an advertising agency, I was a boy advertiser. I was sitting there with the art director and he was finishing up the thing. And I go, when do we put the subliminal stuff in? And he just looked at me and started laughing his ass off.
That's a riot.
Maybe we weren't high paid enough. We were not in New York.
You weren't that's a whole nother conspiracy.
I think that a lot of that was bullshit, or it was stuff they tried once or twice to see if it would have any.
I mean, if you read the book, you start seeing it everywhere. You really do.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they do that in movies? They put popcorn, one frame of popcorn or something to get people to go buy popcorn.
Well, The Exorcist, that's the other
Yeah.
one. I mean, it's not so subliminal now. Before you see a movie, you see that Coca-Cola roller coaster going through all the candy, all that. Yeah. And you're sitting there going, I'm thirsty. I don't know why. I had a drink before.
Yeah, now they don't have to do that. Now they do commercials within shows.
Yeah.
I was at a drive-in south of Baltimore that it's not open anymore. It was on, I think it was on Ritchie Highway. And I was seeing I Spit on Your Grave and The Boogeyman double feature.
Oh, wow.
And literally I saw they had cut in a frame of popcorn. You know, I mean, I saw it. And I'm like,
you saw it? You actually saw it?
I actually saw it. It was not a high-end drive-in.
Oh.
But I actually saw.
Look what William Friedkin did.
At least once, because I saw it.
William Friedkin did it in The Exorcist. He kept popping up the frightening frames, and then Fincher did it in Fight Club.
Yeah,
we'd have a frame pop up of Brad Pitt or something doing something.
Right.
Like
so I mean, frankly, John Carpenter was kind of ahead of his time. I mean, he really, he really kind of nailed. And if he's talking about the Reagan '80s, I mean, that's definitely, America was being put to sleep. That was his theory anyway, that we're all being put to sleep.
It was also rampant commercialism. That's what he was really talking about.
Yeah, consumerism.
Yeah, consumerism.
Yeah.
Which is worse now. I mean, you look at like social media. One influencer says something, everyone goes out and buys it.
I mean, so I think of something I want to get, and it pops up on my phone. Right, I don't know how that happens.
Well,
I don't know who's listening.
Exactly.
So, no, that's a very prescient film. I have to say, other than
it's a good trope too.
Example.
Yeah.
So pisses me off about these internet ads because people must be listening. Because sometimes I forgot what Debbie and I were talking about, and an ad comes up. It isn't like I Googled it. Maybe Debbie did.
No, something's hearing.
You say something in front of Alexa, and it shows up on your Facebook page.
Totally, completely.
So they're listening all the time.
They live.
Your TVs listen too. The smart TVs listen too. So we're there. We are in. They live.
All right. Before I do. Go ahead. What?
By the way, because your smart TV has a little monitor, has a camera, they could be watching you. So always turn that off, because if you saw the last sequence in Kentucky Fried Movie, that is hilarious. That was a great ender for that movie.
All right, before I do my film, I just want to throw up a little shout out to Chris Coker was going to bring The Conversation.
Yeah,
what a classic.
And I really want to get my hands on one of those raincoats that he wore, those see-through raincoats that are just fantastic. So in honor of that, I just want to throw out a couple more, just that as in my search for stuff, and we can just, bounce around. Enemy of the State, which is kind of a unofficial sequel to
Enemy of the State with
Gene Hackman and Will Smith.
Yeah.
And Hackman's basically playing an older version of Harry Potter.
Right.
So throw that one out there. Have you ever seen Vantage Point?
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver, where they shoot the thing from different angles. That's kind of the blowout thing where Travolta's shooting that. He's doing sound. And somehow he gets a hold of a Super 8 film, and he does this whole thing where he syncs the sound up to the gunshot that he heard that blew out the tire, and it's a whole government conspiracy.
Because everyone thought the tire just blew out.
Right.
Yeah. But he happened to be shooting sound.
That's the name. Blowout.
Yeah. 7 Days in May.
I love that.
Burt Lancaster.
How about Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson? Okay.
Yeah.
Just
capturing their eye.
Available cheap.
I wanted to choose that one, but it wasn't cheap.
You
had to
Which
watch
one?
it.
Which one? I'm sorry. Which one?
Conspiracy Theory.
What's $2.99?
No, it's $5.99.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God! You just got a streaming thing. You can't spend $5.99 on a film.
Listen, for all our subscribers out there on our Patreon site, please.
That is sad. I actually feel sad. I would have paid for that. Couple more. The Star Chamber. Did you ever see that terrible film with Michael Douglas?
Hal Holbrook.
Hal Holbrook is in all these conspiracy films. He was also in Capricorn 1. Probably the best space conspiracy ever.
The Enforcer.
No, the second one.
Isn't that the
No,
enforcer?
Yeah, the enforcer. Yeah.
Magnum Force. Magnum Force.
Yeah, with the motorcycle cop.
Yeah. Clute, we mentioned Clute. Chinatown.
That great
Cutter's
great
Way.
Conspiracy movie.
Anyway, Capricorn 1's my second favorite of those. It's 3 Days of the Condor and Capricorn 1. But I brought a film that puts us in the room with the conspirators. Okay? We are seeing the conspiracy, and it's called Executive Action. Okay? Came out in 1973. Stars Burt Lancaster, Robert Ryan, Will Geer, bunch of old guys, right? And basically, this is the JFK assassination from the assassinator's point of view. You're literally sitting in rooms, and these old guys are deciding how they're going to kill Kennedy.
I just want to say one thing, Ralph. It's assassin, not assassinator. Assassin.
Okay. Assassins.
I'm sorry. It's not the Terminator.
So they're all sitting in a room. The assassins, not the assassinator, are sitting in a room, and what they're mixing documentary footage of Kennedy doing his speeches with these behind the scenes of how they're planning this thing, and they want to kill him because he's taking troops out of Vietnam. So
this is a group of people that got together to form
old white privileged guys, which is the line I know you hated in the Batman, but it's old white privileged guys sitting around going, we have too many brown people in the world. We have too many Latin people in the world. This is what we got to do. We got to get the world order taken care of. And how we're going to do this, we're going to kill Kennedy, because if we kill Kennedy, all these other dominoes will fall. So you're watching the whole thing. Now, we've all seen JFK. We've all seen the other side of the conspiracy. So now we're seeing this side. They plan everything, right down to getting a fake Harvey Oswald to go and present himself at places and cause trouble so people remember who he is. They do this whole scene where these guys are in the desert triangulating shooting, where they run a cart through and these sharpshooters are shooting. They're showing you everything from the whole conspiracy right in front of you. Financed by Donald Sutherland, who wanted to be in the film, and then he ends up in JFK as the main guy that's spewing all this stuff out. It's just a matter of fact. Just here's how it happens.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's called Executive Action.
Have you seen it, Sean?
Yeah.
You sold that, Ralph.
I have not seen that one.
It's not. Listen, when you watch it, I'm not saying it's not the best acted film in the world, but it's giving you the behind the scenes. Everything you think the Warren Commission said, the Warren Commission came out and said it's a lone gunman. This whole conspiracy
that was written by Dalton Trumbo.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
Wow.
That's good.
He's blacklisted. I mean,
yeah, and I guess Will Geer had been blacklisted, so he was in the film as well. I think this was Robert Ryan's last film. He got cancer 4 months after this thing was released. Ed Lauder plays one of the assassins. And
Ed Lauder from Longest Yard?
Yeah. He's in everything. But in this one, he's playing one of the assassins who's triangulating. Right down to Jack Ruby. They let you in on everything. You're seeing all the things that you've seen from the other side. They show you the whole thing. And it ends with a wall of about 20 people, real people. Now, these are the real people who all died either by a weird heart attack or got hit by a car. One guy, they said, karate chopped in the neck. That's how he died.
Wait, are these guys playing real people?
No. Well,
no. Okay.
Well, maybe. I can't.
But they're
really
telling
say.
you what happens to these people at the end of the movie.
They're telling you no. What they're saying is they're showing. Oh, so at the very end of the movie, Burt Lancaster plays the main guy who sets this whole thing up. And by the end of it, Robert Ryan, who's one of the other guys, gets a call, and it turns out they killed Burt Lancaster. He gets a call saying, whatever his name is, had a heart attack, and he died at Parkland Hospital, which is where they brought Kennedy in. And he has this little smirky grin like, yeah, we knew that. So they fade to black, and then they come up on the real pictures of real people who everybody assumed died mysteriously. And if you've read any of the conspiracy books, which I read a ton of those, JFK stuff, you've seen all these pictures, and they put it up at the end.
So Burt Lancaster could be playing the guy in 7 Days from May, just an older version of him.
He could be. And he could be, remember Donald Sutherland in JFK? He was sort of the
explaining
black box guy who was explaining everything. He could have been one of these guys too. And they break it, I'm telling you, all the things that you saw happen, now you see the lead up to that happening.
Yeah.
And it's all explained.
I've never heard of that. I'd like to see that. Where is it available? Do you know?
It's $5.99. No, $2.99 on Prime. $2.99.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, we'll pay $2.99.
Okay.
Right.
It's $2.99. I think I saw it on Prime. And I just, because I watched it, I went and bought the laser disc.
Well, why don't you just burn a copy of it for us?
I can if you want. I'll do that.
Do
but
that.
It looks,
then it's free.
It actually looks great on Prime.
Okay.
It looks great.
Well, for $3, it should look great.
Now, can I bring up a movie? Now you reminded me.
I'm not done.
Oh, there's more?
All right.
No, I'm done.
No, they're not done.
To me, the goofiest one, the goofiest conspiracy movie, and I'm thinking of bringing it here, is God, what was it? What was that dolphin movie?
Oh, Day of the Dolphin.
Day of the Dolphin.
Day of the Dolphin.
Love pie. George C. Scott.
Yeah.
You know, where some people are trained, this guy, George C. Scott, trains these dolphins to actually speak and proves they're intelligent. And then shadowy figures from the government want to use
underwater minds.
These intelligent dolphins to kill the president by putting a bomb under a yacht he's going to be on. And I'm just sitting there thinking, there's got to be an easier way to kill the president. But then, all the work you would have to do to get.
You really felt for those dolphins, though.
Killed Hitler.
They should have gotten these dolphins.
They should have used dolphins to kill Hitler.
They would have been really weird seeing these dolphins going down East Prussia towards the bunker.
No, I mean, you think if you when you watch conspiracy films, part of the reason it's so unbelievable is you go, there's no way that many people could keep that secret. And I think that's part of the plan. I think you just realize it's so overwhelming that you don't want to ask any questions, when in fact, this may actually be happening for all I know. I don't know.
What's so funny? Here's the funny thing. Have you guys ever engaged in a conversation with somebody who is a conspiracy theorist?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
I had
unbelievable.
I had a guy hand me, this is when dot matrix printers were, the thing. He handed me, the kind where you pull it up and it all just kind of is all connected, right? That thick of every conspiracy. And most of it was how many people died right next to an apple pie because they put some poison in an apple pie. And the last meal they had was this apple pie, found dead next to an apple pie. Well, that means he was in some conspiracy. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like Q, you start going down these rabbit holes, everything seems plausible.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, they actually believe that JFK is coming back. JFK Jr. is going to come back. I mean, how can...
And here's the way you look when somebody's talking to you about their conspiracy theory. Here's what you do on your face. This is what your face is doing.
Well, I bought
sympathetic. I'm sympathetic.
That's what you're doing the whole time, right? It's your facial expression.
When I was in college, I was in a cult. It was called Amway.
I know.
But they were really political and they were really conspiracy oriented. And they were making us read this book called None Dare Call It Conspiracy about how the Trilateral Commission and Council on Foreign Relations.
The Trilateral, there you go.
Controlling the world. And you know what? I mean, I was buying into it, but then when you take a step back, it's like, there's a plausible explanation.
Well, I was completely immersed in the JFK assassination conspiracies in college. Read everything, watched everything. And I remember coming home, my dad going, you just gotta, you can't, he's grew up with Kennedy. He's like, you just can't, this is all bullshit. It's one guy did it. You can't. And I was like fighting him. And then as you get older, you go, like, you just reach this point where you go, you know what? It can't be that complicated. It's just one guy was crazy and somehow he pulled it off. How the hell he pulled it off? Because, at this point now, Trump, I guess, had the chance to let the records go about the Kennedy assassination.
There's so many years that have to pass.
Right. And he didn't let it go. So it's like, what? So,
what does that tell you?
You're supposed to let the alien stuff.
They don't want to rat out the government. That's why.
That could be.
Look, most conspiracies start with a grain of truth, right? And
of
you
course,
latch onto that grain of truth. Then all of a sudden it springs into some crazy.
I know. Babies in the basement of a pizza parlor started with the germ of an idea. And then, okay, good. That's again. You can, Jesus, you just ordered a kid. Do you know that? Just ordered a kid. All right. What I love about these round robins is it opens up all these other films, and I'm thrilled that you guys had never seen Executive Action. So
I'm going to watch it.
Oh, don't confuse it with Executive Decision. Okay,
no, it's a prequel. It's a prequel. It's a prequel to Executive Decision.
It's not.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Winter Kills?
Yes.
I
haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that one.
That's another depressing conspiracy film.
You said Jeff Bridges, right?
Jeff Bridges plays the brother of an assassinated
Arlington Road or Arlington
Heights. Arlington Road. We didn't even bring. That's a huge conspiracy one.
Yeah.
You know, and
I only need to see him.
Didn't Quantum Leap? Didn't he jump in and wasn't he?
He
Oswald?
went into Lee Harvey Oswald.
Right.
Yeah, he leapt into Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah. So this is awesome stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do one more round robin.
All right.
Because this is so much fun. I love doing this. And then we'll get back to Yippee-Ki-Yay Classics after the next one. Sound good?
Yeah, maybe something special for our 100th.
Me and the other old guys.
Oh,
came
yeah,
up
we
with
got to do
this.
something. When is the next episode will be the 100th?
No. I think this is, 97.
Okay.
Are you numbering these? Because I never numbered these, so I have no idea.
I don't number them.
I've numbered them.
Okay, good.
All right. I'm glad somebody did that. All right, here we go. You guys seeing that? Oh boy.
Put the ball on the tee and whack it away, Debbie. Woo!
Okay. Bible epics. Woo.
You know what, Debbie? You know what's
these-
going to fascinate me? Ralph's pick. That's going to fascinate
Well, I need clarification. Bible epics, it's religion, right?
Well, yeah, Life of Brian.
No, it should be just something biblical.
Biblical in the Bible.
It has to be in the Bible. Can it be about a priest?
Oh, God.
No.
Why?
That would be religious movies. Biblical epics.
A movie based on the Bible.
Bible.
It could be the robe, the silver chalice, Ben-Hur.
Jesus was in the Bible, right?
The greatest story, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Jesus
I got it.
was-
Got to start in the Bible.
Oh, Debbie, he's going to pick. He's going to put a lot of thought into this one.
This one, I can't wait.
Sand, sorcery, sand.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, everybody, that's be fun. Deb, you excited about this one?
Yes, I am.
Right up your alley, Deb.
Lots of conspiracies in the Bible, right? Tons of conspiracies in the
I know
Bible.
mine. I know what I'm picking.
What are you picking?
Already, you know?
Yes.
Wow.
Ben-Hur.
Yes.
Seriously?
Oh.
Ben-Hur?
You got it.
Debbie, I saw Ben-Hur at the Wang Center. Introduced by Charlton Heston. And he said, he was at the podium. He said, listen, in the chariot race, bet on the white horses. It was awesome.
That seems a little...
It was amazing. It was amazing on the big screen.
Ben-Hur. Moses, I remember as a kid.
Yeah, 10 Commandments.
Yeah, that was a
Oh,
beautiful
yeah, that's
film.
a good one.
So let it be written. So let it be
Is
done.
Caligula a Bible movie?
No.
No,
It's Rome.
Roman emperor. He was a Roman emperor.
Debbie,
Okay.
Debbie, the fact that he would even entertain that movie, okay? That's all you need to know about Ralph.
Last Temptation of Christ. Is that a Bible movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in that vein, that's a vein I could head down.
Or like the Rapture by, that
Oh, Mimi Rogers.
Oh, that's a good one.
because it's talking about something prophetic.
Oh, this is good. I like
that
this.
would
This
be a
is good.
Ralph movie.
Okay.
Or The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's the devil. Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, the devil.
Oh, that's a great
That's
film.
kind of
Oh
an
my
end
God, I
time
love
film.
that movie.
Oh,
All right.
the devil's in it, so
Let's save this. We'll save this. So I'll let Chris Coker know. Bible epics.
Ralph,
And yes,
are
Deborah.
you going to
blasphemy. Am I going to blaspheme? What?
No, the devil.
Devil's
Advocate.
Devil's advocate.
I love that film.
I do too. He makes such a good point, the devil.
Oh, I love that film. No, there's a lot of good. There's.
I like that because Al Pacino is so understated.
Yeah,
in
he's
that
very
movie.
understated.
Yes,
Priest. I
Yes,
think
sir.
about Priest, Legacy, all these films that are Bible. Constantine is Bible inspired. You ever see Constantine?
Or The Prophecy with Christopher Walken as Gabriel.
Tons.
Michael.
So
Michael.
I would say any film
Michael.
that has a biblical character in it, even if he's not. So you could bring in
Dogma.
Right.
Jesus Christ Superstar,
Okay.
There is
Good.
nothing
Now we got the
different.
rules. Got the rules
Godspell.
down. Excellent.
Godspell.
All right, guys. So that'll be
I'm
good.
going classic and I'm going epic.
What are you
Here
going
we
to
go. Moses.
I'm not telling you yet.
Moses.
No, I got 3 in mind. I don't know which one I'm going to pick out of the 3. Ben-Hur would have been one of my three. I'm telling you right now.
Well, you're glad I picked it, right?
I
Chuck?
do. Great.
What's
great
the one
movie.
with the lepers where Christ goes and
That's
sees
Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur?
Ben-Hur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta love those leopards.
Yeah, that's the one with
I
the
root for the
lepers,
lepers. I'm rooting
Ralph,
for the
that's
lepers.
the one with the lepers. That one. Yes. Ben-Hur, the one with the lepers.
Leopards.
Guys are so. All right, listen. I don't think any Bible epics will have Donald Trump jokes in them either, though. Will they? Probably not.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Well, I'll insert
because it takes me right out of the film.
Oh, good. I can't wait. Perfect. All right, guys. Everyone have a good week. Safe week. And
You
we'll
too,
see
Ralph.
I'll
You
do my
too.
best. We'll see you for the Bible epics. Okay?
Okay. Bye.